This Monero Matteo video is sponsored by Cake Wallet. Safely store, send, receive, and trade your Monero on Cake Wallet on Android and iOS. Alrighty, good afternoon guys, Monero Matteo, welcome back. So I just wanted to do a video real quick just to keep in touch with you guys. I know it's been a few days, and I know there's been a lot going on in Monero land, in the world, and I've been trying to parse myself away from the world a little bit. I've been reading, I think it's over there, but I've been reading my orthodoxy books. I've been working on the Catechism, and I've been wanting to stay away from the news and from Twitter and from YouTube and everything else that's been going on, with the exception, of course, with Monero Talk. We had a great conversation with Doug and with Kevin, who is also on there, and I think we may be doing an interview with Kevin later this week because we still have a little bit to talk about with the manipulation and everything else he's talking about, and he's digging in pretty deep on some things, which is great. And if you haven't checked out Kevin, go give him a look. Kevin Wad is the name. But yes, I've been very busy on the Catechism, and I've just been wanting to let you guys know that, and I'm beginning some other initiatives in my life. I'm trying to quit smoking. I'm trying to get back into the routine of working out. Hopefully, maybe I could get back into the MMA gym that I was at. I used to do boxing and Muay Thai and a little bit of Wing Chun, too, which is cool. If you've ever seen, what's that movie with Robert Downey Jr. and his sidekick, and they go on detective quests? Sherlock Holmes. So that martial arts activity that they do in that movie, where they do like the punches like that, and they're like, Irishman-looking guys, leprechauns, that's Wing Chun, incidentally, which is a form of Kung Fu. I used to do a little bit of that. I only took a few lessons, but yeah, I'm looking to maybe get back into that too. But we need to suffer more, honestly. We need to, what we say, crucify our flesh more and have our spirit become stronger, because we're moving into difficult times, ladies and gentlemen. Things are not going to get easier from here. And I don't care how much wealth that you have. I don't care what your position is. Our souls and our conscience is going to be tested here in the upcoming years, perhaps in the upcoming months. And I know many are being tested at this moment. So we're moving into a time of trying. So I myself am working on trying to strengthen my spirit and sanctify my soul. And that's something that, honestly, I was working on before I got busy with this project that I'm doing here. And I'll be right back. I do want to get the books. There's a part of this book that I want to read to you, and it perhaps indicates that I've been deceived. But one second. So, of course, we were reading this a little bit earlier, The Law of God, on our Sunday streams, and I had to stop doing that, by the way. I know that you guys, some of you at least, not many, were fans of our Sunday streams when we talked about Christianity, a little bit of theology, but I was talking to my spiritual father, and he recommended that we don't do that, since I'm a catechumen, and given I haven't been in the church for as long as it otherwise is necessary in order to profess the faith on a theological level, he told me it's not a good idea to do any of that. So that's why I've removed some of those videos from the YouTube. That's why we don't really do that much anymore, which is probably good for some of you who didn't like that material. And we're just like, keep it in Monero. And I'm like, we love Christ too. So hopefully the icons can do the trick. But I wanted to read this for you because this struck me as interesting when I was going through this. I was looking at baptism. And there's a part here about baptism, how we can be distracted during our catechism, and we could be led astray from what we know we should do. And it says here that one must not drag out the time before baptism, otherwise one may die and perish forever. It must be remembered that if a person intends to be baptized, he will be subject to the attacks of the devil, who does not wish for the person to be freed from his enslavement. One should neither fear nor listen to the enemy, but should drive him away with prayer and the sign of the cross. The favorite trap of the devil is busyness. You have no time today, he says. Do it tomorrow or next week or during vacation. In this way, Satan holds some back from baptism for years. And those who take this bait later find it more difficult to lead a Christian life. So, when I was really getting going on reading this book is when I started this channel. Now, I'm not saying that we're doing the work of Satan here. I hope not. I hope that we are leading people to the light. And interestingly enough, David Patrick Carey from Church of the Eternal Logos, I don't know if you all have heard of him. If you have not heard of him and you're Christian, you're oriented that way, go check it out. And I know that we have a lot of lovely Christian listeners to this channel. I've gotten in touch with many of you, and that's been a great pleasure. But he was talking about Monero today, or at least he mentioned it in passing, which is great. So the word is getting out, ladies and gentlemen, that Monero is key. And if you are going to get into crypto, the first thing you should get into is Monero, in my opinion. Now, I recommend people get some gold and silver first, maybe some ammunition, bang, bang, pow, in case things get crazy, right? But, you should have some real assets as backup. But if you're going to get into crypto, get into the OG stuff. Get into the stuff that works. Get into the stuff which has a fundamental basis to it, unlike a lot of these other cryptos. I mean, I was just reading today that this Squid Game crypto, perhaps you all heard about this. This thing went up 40,000% and gained a market cap of $500 million within a few days. And then it broke. Like something broke, or the people just ran off with the money, and people lost all their cash. It went to zero, like boom, immediately. I mean, you shouldn't be messing with this stuff. This is gambling. This is not investing. You truly invest in crypto, I think, when you get into the Freedom Coin Covenant, when you get into Monero, when you get into Darrow and some of these others. This is the future, or this is hopefully the future. I mean, we don't want Bitcoin to be the future. We really don't. Because check it out. If you're in Australia, I mean, God help you if you have all of your assets into these public blockchains. I mean, I'm reading these articles right now where people are having their bank accounts seized, where people are having their homes raided because they're not paying these COVID-19 fines, these penalties that are being levied upon them because maybe they're out past curfew, or maybe they're out of their little bubble zone that the government laid for them. Crazy stuff. And maybe you have your assets on a public blockchain, and therefore they come after you to try to conscript those assets, right? Or they just put a tracker on it and they prevent you from moving it from here or there because maybe you're a dummy and you say, oh, I don't have access to it, and then you try to move it afterwards, and then they come after you because they know you lied. But, you got to get into this stuff because that could be our future here. And, go for a boating trip this weekend, after you get it. Who knows what could happen? But just keep all this stuff in mind, guys. Keep all this stuff in mind. What was that? Don't be rude, Mr. GoPro. I'm talking here. But it looks like Monero is trending. I forgot what else I had to talk about. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, get spiritually ready, guys. Get spiritually ready. That's one of the points that I wanted to make here. I don't know what spirituality a lot of you subscribe to. Most of you are Christian, I think, who follow this channel. When you do subscribe, you probably do see the little thing, the logo on our page that says Christ and Crypto. That's what we're all about. We love Christ, and I don't think crypto enough is going to do the job. I think we're going to need Christianity too, because this is a spiritual battle, I think, fundamentally, and I think many of you recognize that. And I think there is an element to fighting for Monero, which is spiritual as well, because it is reclaiming what is ours, which is our capacity to exchange value with each other without some demonic third party trying to suck the life that is being exchanged between us out of us. Does that make sense? So the fact that Monero allows us to do that in a time like this, I think, is to some degree a blessing. So just wanted to say that. So some of you have reached out to me to talk about interviews, and yes, there are many people I want to interview. I have a list right here. Lutz, Kevin Wad, although I think we're going to be talking later this week. Rethinking the Dollar. Mike, I think, Frank, you had recommended this guy to me. I'll look into that. David Patrick Carey from Church of the Eternal Logos, and we've been in touch a little bit. Hopefully when I'm done with my Catechism, I'll be able to have him on the show, as well as some other monks, as well as some other spiritual fathers, maybe from my own church. But I do want to make that part of the channel again. I do want to have Sunday streams because I know we have a lot of Orthodox listeners, which is great. I love you. I just don't want to be the guy talking about theology because I'm not somebody, and I hope I caveated that enough during these videos, but I'm not somebody who can speak with authority on these matters. So hopefully I can get people on who do have that authority so that I can make sure that the information which is getting to you is clean, I guess you could say. Dr. Daniel Kim. Josh, you had recommended this one a long time ago. I apologize for not getting to this. I don't even know how to get in touch with him. If you guys have his number, his Twitter, or whatever, that'd be great. But getting in touch with Mr. Kim, Dr. Kim, excuse me, is a little bit tough, which makes sense. I mean, he's a pretty high status guy, does physics and a lot of other stuff. He's very smart. And Josh Bednar and some other guys. There are a lot of people on the list. So, yeah, that's stuff that I want to do, but I'm not looking to do interviews right now because I just have a lot to do in regards to this. And the most important thing right now for me is getting my spirit right. Now, it's not hard for me to jump onto this and just pump out videos. You know what I mean? Like open up some news articles, connect it with things we've already discussed, and give a case as to why that's bullish for Monero, which just about everything that's going on is. But the more videos I understand we put out, the more people are going to be emboldened, the more morale we have. I know I'm trying to lead this charge to some degree, and hopefully get people to also become leaders themselves, make their own channels, which Kevin has done, and to also, carry on the baton, carry on the flag, because this is going to take a lot of work on the behalf of a lot of us. And I do feel that on my conscience for taking the break to be to myself to read this stuff. There is a sensibility of mine which is like, this is a little bit selfish. You got to get in the fight. You got to keep going. But I do have to get this done. This is something that I've committed to for a while, so I have to do this. But I do encourage you, a lot of you, to get out there and talk about this. I see a lot of people on Twitter. That's great. I see more people making YouTube videos, which is great. But ultimately, as we've seen with Shibu, as we've seen with Dogecoin, as we've seen with some of these other just ridiculously random coins that just, boom, go nuclear, it is a war. It is an information war. Infowar.com. It's us getting out there and spreading the word about how this stuff works. A lot of people think Bitcoin's private. A lot of people think Ethereum's private, and all of these other coins, which is not private. It's like total 1984, panopticonical, I'm going to look at everything you're doing kind of stuff. And look, if they piece this with your personal information, boom, it's there forever. Whatever you do is there forever. And nothing is more dangerous. This is hyperbolic, but look, nothing is more dangerous than people thinking they're doing something in private when they're not. I mean, they could be exposed. And in this world of evil, if you get exposed doing something you're not supposed to because you're thinking of doing it private, well, I mean, that could get you in a lot of trouble. And people could come after you, and that's not good. So I think maybe people are misled by the fact that they're called cryptocurrencies, and they think, cool, crypto, meaning secret, private, under the surface, in the catacombs, private. Cryptocurrency, it's private currency, when it's not. It's like the complete opposite. And Adam Back has even said this. He's like, yeah, like Bitcoin is like less fungible and less private than PayPal. Crazy stuff, right? But a lot of people don't know that. They don't know that crypto actually means like cryptographic. A lot of people just don't know. So we have to get the info out. We have to get the word out, ladies and gentlemen. But I'll be carrying on the fight however I can, but I'll also be working on this, as I said. So another thing, let's go ahead and just give you guys some red meat since I'm here. By the way, did you guys see that Monero talk? That was great. I like talking with Doug. I like talking with Kevin. That was a good time. And we're going to get to this, dude. This guy, this blood-sucking MFer right here, Prince of Wales. Oh, I like adrenochrome. This guy right here. He's like, we know this will take trillions, not billions of dollars. And he's talking about climate change. Fun, right? So we've talked about this, of course. They're going to make this a global warlike initiative. And he says, literally right here, we need a vast military-style campaign, dude. Just think about that. So they're going to marshal all the resources together. They're going to go absolutely crazy with taxes, with central bank spending, with militarization and globalization of armed forces and perhaps other forces. I mean, maybe civilian forces who are in alignment with what they want to do. I mean, to some degree, we saw this during the pandemic. I mean, they were threatening to send people to your door with these stabbies. I mean, luckily they stopped that. They knew what was going to happen if that happened. But who knows? Maybe they marshaled together like a civilian corps to go after the unbelievers. Who knows what could happen? This makes me worried. Not really, but just we'll talk about this in another video. I'm about to go off. Let's not do that. But one thing I just wanted to comment on was that Monero is trending, it seems. Look at this. So Kraken Exchange, and I mentioned this on the Monero Talk conversation we had. It looks like Kraken is talking about Monero. This was on October 26th, a few days ago. And, I thought it was a fluke, one-off thing. But look at this. CoinGecko is also talking about Monero, which is wild, dude. So where's this all coming from? Is something getting into the algorithms? Is something in the air? Are people starting to have an awakening? Well, I think to some degree there is an awakening happening, and it's going to be the second great awakening. I think this is going to be huge. I think that we're super early. Again, we're so early to where it's like, oh, Satoshi, you got an idea for something? Oh, cool. Let me hear it. Like, we're in 2007, bro. It hasn't even happened yet. So look, people are now beginning to figure out Bitcoin's not that private. People are now beginning to see the centralization of Bitcoin mining and how ESG is going to play into all that. And I've got videos on that coming. I've got ideas brewing in the cauldron. We are going to talk about a lot in regards to what I'm seeing on Bitcoin Reddit, what I'm seeing, given the Bitcoin bros from, Coin Bureau and from Trader University and some other places of people who are like, yeah, the mining centralization looks like it's becoming an issue. Yeah, it looks like custodial Bitcoin holding is becoming a thing. That's a bit worrisome. Yes, of course it is. And so this is something that we've been warning about, and we're going to continue to yell from the rooftops and blow the bullhorn about this because it's very, very important. Monero is super key, and it works on a layer 1. It's fast. It's private. Nobody knows you have it. Stealth addresses. It's very scalable because of dynamic block size, and we anticipate that continuing to be scalable because miners will continue to mine it, be incentivized to mine it because of tail emission and yada, yada, yada. It's a wonderful, wonderful technology. Don't just think of it as being private because it's so much more than that. And here we go. Trace Evader, the base cased right here. We love Trace Evader. He's a good follow. Nice to see Monero trending. If you write about privacy, reply below. Well, we're already friends. But, all right, guys, what's going on? It could be that the good Lord wants me to get back to studying my catechism because my stuff just shut off out of nowhere, and I'm not sure what happened. I just freed up a bunch of space on my computer, so that shouldn't have happened. But I've got the book open right here, and God seems to be calling me to it. But I just want to make this comment real quick to wrap up the video. I've been looking at Datamish recently, and it does look like the Empire struck back. And we did have a good run at it recently, guys, but it looks like the shorts are now back in command, and we are now back at 26,000 shorts and 14,700 longs. So twice as many shorts as longs, it looks like. And if you look at the 360-day chart, we see a similar trend that we're now starting to see on the micro now, where you see the price going up and the shorts going up at the same time, seemingly to tamper down the price. And if you look at what's been going on recently, well, goodness, the shorts are now going up at the same time the price is going up as well. So you'll see right here, there's a move from October 27th to seemingly today. There's a trend line now going, but the shorts are now taking off and the longs are crashing. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Stay bullish, everybody. The case has not changed. We are still fundamentally in the right position. But look at this. We almost had a go at it. Look at that little peak right there. We almost surpassed the shorts. But something happened, guys. We just didn't keep up the pressure, I guess. That's all right. Okay, keep your dry powder. Store up some more. We will be back, and we will make another attempt at this. Not that we really made an attempt. It just seemed like people were waking up to what was going on. Maybe because me and Kevin were talking about this so much, people started to listen in. And, me and Kevin's video, we got some info out that people maybe hadn't heard before. And so maybe some whales started to pick up on this, and they wanted to squeeze the hell out of these guys. And seemingly, the sentiment has dropped back down, and I'm not going to let my ego play into this, but seemingly when I stop making videos. But shorts, be very afraid. Very afraid. We are back on the scene to let everybody know what the deal is. But look at this. The Bitcoin chart looks nothing like this. You have 31,000 longs and 400 shorts. Huge divergence here. And you see this with every other crypto. You see this with Litecoin. You see this with Ethereum. The longs are way above the shorts by orders of magnitude. Same thing with Cardano. And we've been through this list before. It's redonkulous. This doesn't make any sense. I mean, look at this, guys. You have 23 million longs for Cardano, 284,000 shorts. Okay, so you have literally like 50 times the number of longs here than shorts, and I'm being generous. But with Monero, you've got twice as many shorts as you do longs. What's going on here? I mean, goodness, I just don't get this. This is very strange. And, similar cases for Zcash, IOTA, EOS, Ripple. Crazy stuff. Let's check in on Trade Ogre, see how we're doing there. Just to fulfill our curiosity, I actually haven't looked at this in a couple days. What is going on? Looks like Darrow is down a little bit. PRCY is for some reason surging. I don't know what you guys are doing over here on Trade Ogre. Monero is staying pretty level here. Yeah, not too much going on. Concealed Network's taken off. Let's go. Based. All right. Looks like we're having a breakout here. And we've talked about the Concealed Network a little bit. Go check out our video on that. We just talked about how it's good for private communications. They have a cool messaging feature, which sends your messages through the blockchain. They can stay permanently on there, or they can be destroyed, which means they don't get included into a block. It's pretty interesting stuff. And we should be talking with Quibs here pretty soon. Quibs, if you're watching this, I apologize. I haven't gotten back to you. I know that you want to do an interview. You're back from your vacation. That's great. But not right now. I have to work on my Catechism, as I mentioned before. But at some point we will. But, yeah, it's an interesting project. And it looks like we're starting to see some action, which is great. I like it. So that's it. I just wanted to top this off with that. And I want to get this out here for you guys. By the way, patrons, I'm going to have another video out for you guys today as well. We went on another nature walk, and we talked about how they want more than just your money. And you'll see what they want in that video if you're curious. But yes, thank you for all the patrons. Josh, Ken, Stewart, Lutz, and Lord have mercy, I don't want to forget. And Heinrich, the Swedish fella. Thank you so much, Heinrich. Forget. You Swedes, you're so sweet. Anyways, so that's it. Monero Matteo. Check out the description below for social media, donations, etc. And I will be back, guys. We will be back in the battlefield. Have a wonderful day. God bless.